Hey everyone, it's Nolan. It's been a while since I've done a video for you guys. Apologies, but I've been on holiday, annual leave, etc, etc. Had a great time, but back to work now, back to doing my very best to give you guys some great charts to look at and some potential trading setups for you, hopefully to make some pips and make some money. So I'm going to take a look at four charts today. As you can see at the top there, we've got EURUSD, USDCAD, WTI, Euro Swissy, all of real interest to me and the team this week. Before I actually have a look at the charts, always important, guys, to look at the news announcements, the high priority news announcements coming out for the week. Now, there's lots of different platforms, websites where you can do that. The most common is this one. I'm not trying to plug Forex Factory. I'm not getting any money for this. But if you want to send me any money, Forex Factory, if you see this, then please do so for plugging you. But this is the most common one. So forexfactory.com, under the tab here, calendar, and what you do is you actually go into this little button here, and probably all these little I think you call them factories, these little things. I don't know what they are. We'll call them markers. Anyway, when you go onto the website and tab calendar, you'll probably see all of these news announcements. All of these are coming out this week. What we want to do really is filter out all the medium and low impact news announcements. This one I keep ticked, actually. This one lets me know if there's any bank holidays in particular countries. And I keep this one ticked. This is the high priority news announcements. All of these ticked, all of these ticked. Boom, apply filter, and there you go. No high priority news expected today. But we've got some Euro news tomorrow morning, pound news there, USD, nothing on Wednesday, more news there on Thursday and Friday. So always be aware of what's coming out in the high priority news, news-wise, because they can really affect your trades, really affect the respective currency. So obviously this one can affect Euro, this one affect the USD pairs, etc, etc. So nothing today. Cool. Let's have a little look at these charts. So this is something we sent out yesterday in the watch list. We've got a nice monthly supportive trend line here, actually, and this actual analysis came from Mark, the other head trader in the team. Very experienced trader, very good at what he does. So always nice to look at the way Mark looks at a chart, etc., because often very good analysis, and this is very good analysis as well. I think he noticed that, yeah, we've got this supportive trend line here, but potentially we could get a double bottom. We had it here, look, bounced and bounced the month afterwards. Here, not quite a double bottom, but yeah, came down again before it pushed up, and we could see the same here. We've had this push down into the trend line. All we've done is connected these lows here. We could see a double bottom here on the monthly. So let's just have a little look at the daily. This is something we've already traded. We're actually already in trades on this. We've took some money off. There's been a couple of trades, actually. There's one that's still running, which I sent out last week. There's one Mark sent out, and that's done. That's its target. That's fantastic. That was I think it was a 2-to-1 target as well. But you can see that the general momentum of Euro USD is to the downside, and the most recent price action was this impulse here and a corrective pattern here. We would call it a bearish flag pattern, which you can see here. This daily candle here closed below the counter trend line. This is the one I sent out, actually, a sell stop below the low, stop above the high, looking for it to push down. That's nicely in profit at the moment. For those who didn't take that trade, Mark sent out another trade, which was a sell stop below this candle here and stop above the high. So the reward to risk was really nice, because it involved a smaller stop loss, and that's actually hit target. I think actually if we can redraw this, potentially this was more like a break and retest. Just trend lines are subjective, but you could have drawn it like that. Look, support, 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 broken, retested. Look on a smaller time frame. It's basically, look at, it's an impulse, a little corrective pattern, another impulse. Now looking at that bigger picture, you know, on the monthly, where, you know, we could get a double bottom, what we can look for here on euro dollar is another corrective pattern to form. So we had an impulse, we had a corrective pattern here, then we had an impulse. So potentially we could get another corrective pattern and one more push down. Come and test this monthly supportive trend line. It's not, you know, nothing is for certain in trading, but it's something we can certainly look out for. We've got a trend line here as well, so we could look for price to pull back and retest the trend line, or like I say, a corrective pattern and then a breakout of that pattern to look for a short. Okay, so you know, we had our corrective pattern here, we had this nice solid close below, and then we led to this move here. If we can see another corrective pattern, which would be which would hopefully form a CTL there, a counter trend line, so price would basically go like this, something like that. And if we can get and then a close below, we can look for a short there. Now there is some euro news coming out tomorrow, as I showed you, about 8:15 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. UK time, so that's GMT +1. So we could see a little spike up in euro dollar, maybe. But yeah, a corrective pattern on here, and then a push down by the sellers to test that monthly low from last month would be really, really nice. And then who knows? It could be a big reversal then, because if you look at price action on the monthly, this is a pretty sharp impulsive move. So, you know, even if we weren't coming into support, you would expect some form of bigger correction. You know, it's very rare that things just drop like this, you know, without a correction taking place. But yeah, we could get a big move here. We could come and test this previous area of support. Look here, broken. We may come back into that zone there, which, so it's a fairly decent move, you know, talking about 800 pips or so there. If we're coming into that parity level at the moment, roundabouts 1, back up here is 108, that's another 800 pips, which is you know, quite easy to work out, but you can use your tool on here if you wanted to. There we go, about 812 pips, etc., etc. So yeah, we are going to be looking for a correction on euro dollar, and then sellers to come in again for that one more push down. We'll see if that happens. It may not, but that's what we're going to be looking for on euro dollar. So momentum is still to the downside on the bigger picture and on the 1 hourly, 4 hourly. That's where the money is being made at the moment. So let's see if we can get a correction. Let's see if we can get another sell setup. Like I say, we're already in this. We've actually made some money already, and we closed it. I think the trade hit, Mark's trade hit second target today, maybe. I can't think of, it may have been last week, I'm not too sure. Don't hold me on that, but I know it was doing very, very well, and the trade that I sent out to the guys is running in profit. So yeah, look for, or we will be looking for, some further downside on this. Dollar CAD, we could be pushing back up into this zone here. Nice resistance zone. We had a false break here. Next day, boom, straight back down. So I'm not personally a breakout trader really, so you know, the trade here for me is, yeah, closed above the zone. I'd have been looking for a retest, rejection, and then a buy setup. So false break, price could come back into this zone here, round about 130, we'll call it 130.67, maybe a little bit higher. So when you go down into the 4 hour or smaller time frames, you can see nice bit of cyclicity here. Obviously, if we're looking to buy, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows. We're looking for an uptrend, and that's what we've got here. We've got this high higher low, higher high, looking for price to either come back down and bounce off this trend line, or potentially come back into this little level here, because this level was an area of resistance. Could come back down, test it as support, and then bounce, and then look for a buy setup into our target zone up here. Now, yeah, if you notice, then price could actually come into that zone, break the trend line, and then push up. Just because we break a trend line doesn't necessarily mean that the price is going to continue down. We'd be looking for a change of cycle. Okay, so there's your last swing low. So we could have a swing low anywhere higher than this low here, even down here, and it could still push up, and it would still actually won't have broken trend, because we're getting higher highs, higher lows. So something else you could look for actually is fibs. Now, I did notice that if you draw a fib from this low here to this high here, price came down really nicely into the 50% fib mark there before it continued to push up. A lovely bullish engulfing candle actually there off the fib level. Now we draw a fib level from the start of an impulse to the end of an impulse. So here was the start of the impulse here, the low of the bullish engulfing candle. Now, if we assume this was the end of the impulse, I can't really say that it's the end of the impulse at the moment. So what I'm saying is we've had this move up, this move down, this move up. If that's the top of the move and we're looking for a correction to take place, I'm just going to draw a fib from the start of the impulse here at the bearish bottom of the bearish engulfing candle to the top. We can see that price to come back into this zone here is again at the 50% mark. So it's a good area to start looking for longs. Could push down even further though, guys. You know, 61.8 is always a good one as well. So once price is in this zone, just start looking for buy setups. You might not get them straight away. It might push down further. Don't just buy. If you were going to buy in this zone, just going to buy or have a buy limit, you'd have to have your stop really underneath this swing low here, because that's where, if price breaks that low here, that's where the actual trend changes, okay, because we've had a change of cycle. So if you're going to place any buy limits or go live in this zone, then cool, but really you should, for me, I know we've got this low here, but for me that's the low you should be putting your stop underneath. So I am looking for a pullback on dollar CAD, looking for it to push into 130.67 somewhere there. That actually matches up nicely with the minus 27% fib, 130.70 at the moment, if price was to now push down into the zone. So euro dollar, looking for a bit of a correction, so maybe some dollar weakness there. Dollar weakness would potentially affect this currency pair as well, and look for it to push down, then look for a buy setup. You can also use, guys, I mean, I love using moving averages. Put my my 8 and my 20 moving average there. Nicely bullish moving averages there, 8 above the 20, some nice separation as well, giving us that confirmation of that bullish trend there. But this is the nice zone for me, 50% retracement, previous resistance. If price comes into that zone where I've got my alert set, then I'll be very interested from there to start looking for buy setups. So there's often we often see a correlation between the Canadian dollar and oil, because oil is a big export of Canada. So if we were going to see this push up, it could be more to do with dollar strength and CAD weakness. But for that reason, if we were to push up, CAD weakness, you'd look at WTI, you'd look at oil for weakness in oil, look at the WTI chart. In fact, this is probably ready to go right now. I'm looking for shorts on WTI into 85. You can see that momentum on WTI is sellers are in charge. Come back down towards 85 where we've seen previous resistance. This is looking very nice. Head and shoulder pattern there. Bearish candle there. I can see this pushing down into 85. Whether this has gone now, really, unless you could look for you know, maybe a little retest of this. Come on, trading view, maybe look for a retest and a rejection to sell. This might have gone there though. This is something I sent out to our traders about 15 minutes ago, the potential head and shoulder pattern there. But yeah, looking for that to push down into 85. Let's see if we can get a correction on that and we can short towards that 85. Euro Swissy, bearish, bearish, bearish. However, look at the monthly. We are, let me just hide everything on this. No, I don't want that. Yeah, hide drawings. Look where we are. This is low, okay? That was the previous swing low there back in January 2015. Now we're even lower. Euros at extremes. Potentially this is what's called a falling wedge, which you would expect to break to the upside. Just watch this now. Whether it's to do with whether we see an upside due to the euro or the Swiss franc, who knows? Euro is at extremes, as I've shown you, although we are expecting a little bit more of a move down there. We've broken this low here. Show you on the MACD, we've got this divergence between this low, so low, lower low, low, higher low, potentially telling us that that momentum to the downside is fading. I will be looking for buys now. Now we've broken this low, we could come and bounce off this supportive trend line here, but certainly I'll be looking for changes of cycle. Now whether you want to look for, you know, a break of this trend line here, push up, corrective pattern, and then a push up to here, and then look to break out, it's up to you. But you know, you can look at 15-minute changes of cycle as well. But I'll be interested when price closes above this trend line, because you can trade, obviously, like I say, towards the top of structure, towards the top of the falling wedge, but you'd leave a little bit on. Whether you want to take some money at the top here, leave some money on the table, because this could break out, and we're at extreme lows here on Euro Swissy. So, you know, it could end up with a big move. Okay, always look at the bigger picture to see what's going on. And now we're at, I don't know whether this is all-time lows, to be honest with you, because I haven't really looked into it. But on this trading view chart, you know, we go back to wherever 1993. On this particular chart, the low is from here, 2015. So this is extreme levels. And yeah, I want to see if we can get an hourly change of cycle and look for a long setup on this. So yeah, Euro Swiss, if it drops down a little bit further with that euro weakness, then cool. I'm not really interested. I'm more interested in this changing cycle and looking for longs because of the bigger picture. Euro dollar, if we don't get a setup, don't worry about it. You know, this is coming into extremes as well, so we might see, especially if we break this trend line, we might see a buy setup. But I think, you know, I'm hoping we get another corrective pattern, at least one more down, and then potentially we could see those buyers come in. So euro for me is at extremes. It's a very, very bearish currency, but we could start to see some upside. Maybe at the end of the month, who knows? Maybe for the rest of this month we'll see a bearish euro. We'll have to wait and see. For this week though, potentially I want to see a correction here. Look to short and then literally get out of the trade. Get out of the trade, like I say, because we are at extremes. But yeah, watch dollar CAD, got my alert set there. Euro dollar, if we can get a nice bearish correction and then sellers to come in, could be a nice intraday short there. WTI, potentially, that is on its way to 85 now. Maybe look for a little correction there. Euro Swissy, I'm really interested in going long on this. No confirmation yet, though. I want to see a break and outside above this trend line here on the H1. Little corrective pattern to go long. That's at extreme. So let's see what happens this week. It's been a really, really good week for us last week. We made some nice money on gold and euro. We're also in Kiwi yen as well. So yeah, really, really nice week last week. Let's hope that it continues this week as well. Please like and share the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, obviously subscribe. If you know any like-minded traders that would be interested in the video as well, or our videos, please let them know about the channel. And yeah, I'm going to put some other details about some different things that we offer as well in the description, so take a look at that. Other than that, we'll see you in the next video, which will probably be by Mark. So I will catch you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.